The Hamptons, exclusive retreat of the rich and famous. In the fall of 2001, home to bloody murder. Inside an ivy-covered mansion, a man lies naked, bludgeoned to death. The victim, Wall Street mogul Ted Ammon. A jury says his killer is this man, Danny Pelosi, a blue-collar electrician. He was having a very public affair with the dead man's wife, Generosa. It's a scandalous murder. It takes authorities 2 years to arrest him. He's convicted with only circumstantial evidence. For more than a decade, Danny Pelosi insists he's innocent. Was he a fall guy? Did he cover for someone else? Danny claims the real story has never been told, until now. Behind the walls of Great Meadow Correctional Facility, New York, I want to find the truth. I'm Candice DeLong. As an FBI agent, I worked on the front line for the world's most powerful law enforcement agency. I went undercover, I trailed terrorists, and I interviewed notorious killers. It's my job to understand the people who others cannot comprehend. Wall Street, it's dog eat dog. Ted Ammon was comfortable in this cutthroat world of high finance and leverage buyouts. It's his personal life that causes his ruin. He was murdered during a bitter divorce from his 45-year-old wife, Generosa. She had discovered he'd been having an affair. Generosa believed Ted may have even fathered an illegitimate child. She moves into her own 7-story apartment. It needs renovating. That's how she meets Long Island electrician Danny Pelosi. Within 18 months, Ted Ammon is murdered, and Generosa and Danny are married. How does a blue-collar tool man get to move in with a millionaire? And how does that lead to 25 years to life in prison?
Hi, Danny.
Hello, Candice.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Danny promises he'll tell me everything.
Thank you for sitting down with me, Danny.
Thank you for
The
having me.
name of this show is Facing Evil. And you've done that in your life.
Yeah.
What kind of evil have you faced?
I faced evil. I married evil.
And that would be...
The face of evil
Who would that be?
ended up being my wife, Generosa.
Before we get to Generosa, let's go back in your childhood. When you were a young boy.
I grew up with a Marine. My father was in the Korean War. He was a very negative man, very violent man. I had an abusive childhood.
Danny says his father was a disciplinarian, and that shaped his personality.
My father taught me how to handle myself, put me through boot camp, taught me how to defend myself, taught me how to kill a man. I could kill a man in 5 seconds.
Considering he's in jail for a murder he says he did not commit, it seems interesting that Danny is talking about his ability to kill.
My father today is a changed man.
Do you think any of it influenced you in a negative way?
Every child wants to be like his father. Strong, aggressive, feared. I took on some of them traits when I get angry and stuff like that. I use it. I come across really rough. But if you know me, you know that's not me. But you violate me, my father will come out in me.
In 2000, Danny meets wealthy Manhattan socialite Generosa Ammon. On the surface, she's way out of his league. She doesn't drive to the beach, she takes a chopper.
Well, describe Generosa to me.
Well, let's start. There's 2 sides. Generosa was a beautiful woman until her husband was killed.
Let's go back to you first being
You gotta let
Generosa.
me finish that sentence.
Danny is clearly a man who likes to be in control. Only a few minutes into our interview, and already he's trying to take charge.
Okay.
If you got on her wrong side, like her friends and Ted and everyone else, you've seen the face of evil you never wanted to see again in your life.
So she was moody?
Moody, she was... Today I know Generosa was bipolar. And these were all the hidden secrets that I didn't see.
When you first met her, what did you see before you learned all this?
When I first met her, I seen a good-looking, rich woman.
The struggling electrician was bankrupt and facing foreclosure on his Long Island home. But that's all about to change. Generosa wants him to be the project manager of her apartment renovation. She offers a paycheck he's never dreamed of, $300,000 a year.
Yeah, of course.
What did that feel like at the moment? That's like winning the lottery.
Powerball.
Okay.
Powerball.
guess
I
that-
told everybody. I hit f***ing lotto, man.
Danny's luck just gets better because Generosa wants more than renovations.
She tells me, what if I would ask you to kiss me? I tell you I don't want to lose my job. What if I tell you if you don't kiss me, you're gonna lose your job?
She actually said that.
Yeah. And I said, you kidding? And she didn't say nothing. And she just looked at me. And I said, okay.
And that was that.
That's how it started.
She moves him into her exclusive hotel. Danny goes from bag lunches to $500 brunches. In 2001, blue-collar electrician Danny Pelosi can't believe his luck. He's been seduced by a wealthy, soon-to-be divorcee while renovating her 7-story apartment. Danny strikes me as someone who'd never miss an opportunity. The question in my mind, what was Generosa looking for?
What did you two have in common, you and Generosa? Anything?
She opened up to me. And she started telling me her life and her childhood. I got to meet the little girl that was trapped inside of her. And she was abused her whole childhood. I had a lot in common with the abuse. And I didn't want to see her get hurt anymore. And that's when I fell for her.
Danny gets caught in the middle of bitter divorce negotiations. Ted Ammon offers Generosa $24 million, but Danny says she wants more. Then, in the fall of 2001, Ted Ammon cancels his wife's credit cards.
Ted cut her off. Boom, see ya. I bought you the building. We're getting a divorce. I'm out. She went and took a $3 million building loan out.
According to Danny, Generosa reacts badly to the settlement negotiations and starts making threats.
Generosa didn't discuss with just me killing Ted. She used to discuss it with her servants. And it was like a conversation. She'd be all twisted and pissed off and say, well, I'd throw him in the pool, make it look like an accident. This is how I want it done. I want his hand broke. I want his finger broke. I want him to suffer. I want him to cry. She used to really have some bizarre setups.
It's important to note we only have Danny's version of events because in August 2003, 22 months after her husband's murder, Generosa died of breast cancer.
Did Generosa ask you to find someone to beat up her husband or to kill him?
No.
She never asked you.
She never asked me to find someone to beat up. She asked me if I knew of anybody who would do it. She came into the job and advertised it to the whole job.
She came into the job and advertised what?
That she wanted Ted beat.
She wanted Ted beaten.
She wanted him taught a lesson.
Danny says Generosa offers $50,000 to his colleagues on the construction site. But it's never raised at trial, and no one has come forward to corroborate it. What is not in dispute are these security cameras. Generosa has Danny help install them and a black box recorder in the family's Hampton mansion. Generosa suspects Ted is hiding money and wants to see what he's up to with his girlfriend. She and Danny can easily spy on Ted from anywhere with a laptop. In 2004, Danny Pelosi is found guilty of murdering millionaire Ted Ammon. According to the prosecutor's case, Ted's wife, Generosa, is not happy with her pending divorce settlement, and her lover, Danny, wants to resolve it permanently. Saturday, October 20th, 2001. The prosecution says Danny zaps the victim with a stun gun, then bashes him with a blunt object. Ted lies on the floor, bleeding to death. Afterwards, Danny disconnects the security cameras and steals the black box recording. Danny's always said the bludgeoning was someone else's work, but he never identified who. Now he wants to.
One person, two person, 20 people? Who?
3 total.
3.
Yes.
Okay.
4 with Generosa.
Do you know who killed Ted Ammon?
Absolutely. I know everything.
Do you want to share that? Does anyone else know what you know?
The people who did the murder know what I know. I will reveal that when we get to court.
Okay.
All right? Right now, my appeal is pending. It
But
looks
you
like
know
I'm
who they
getting
are.
a new trial, and they know who they are.
Danny claims Generosa hired 3 men to kill her husband. This was never raised at trial.
I thought Generosa was having a Ted just tuned up. Generosa had a bigger plan.
And the plan was torture him to
was
death?
to torture him to death, find out where he had everything, to make sure he died. Okay? In pain. That was Generosa's plan, and I know that because she told me that at the end of her life.
Did you take that to the police?
I never spoke to the police.
And he has more to say.
Here's a first. Ted Ammon had his skull broken with a .38 caliber revolver.
Mm-hmm.
No stun gun, a .38 caliber pistol, a 9mm pistol was busted over his
That's
head.
2 different guns, a .38 revolver, a 9mm
caliber,
pistol.
a .25 caliber handgun.
3 handguns.
3 handguns.
The more I challenge Danny on the facts, the less I'm convinced. Although Danny concedes he's no gun expert.
I didn't know the exact calibers, but I could tell the guns.
You got rid
All
of
I know
evidence.
is the one gun had a barrel about that long.
Okay, coroner's report, medical examiner's report?
Oh, they said that they don't know what the murder weapon is.
Okay. How come you do?
I know everything.
But how come you know about the 3 different caliber weapons?
I got a cover for everyone.
Meaning?
I got to cover everyone, or my old lady's going to jail. So let's get rid of everything. And the stuff that you're getting rid of, huh? I looked in the bag. I know what's there.
Danny says he arrives on the scene a day after the murder and helps get rid of the evidence to protect Generosa.
So what did you do, get a phone call? Hey, we need some help here?
No, I went in and I seen Generosa. I said, you better tell me the truth right now, you stupid, because you're on camera. I got the whole thing on the laptop. I seen him get killed. I seen him get killed on the freaking computer that night.
You, in real time, were watching Ted Ammon be murdered on your remote laptop.
I was watching it in real time, but I was watching it 2 hours later.
Now he's claiming he witnesses the murder. after a delay when he remotely checks the Hamptons' black box recorder.
You could see Ted getting tuned up
Beaten
throughout
up.
the house.
By how many people?
By two guys before Generosa even got there.
And you're certain you saw on your remote laptop Generosa walk in the house?
I undisputedly can tell you Ted Ammon was dead at 11:53 p.m. on Saturday, October 20th, 2000.
23 minutes after Generosa walked in the house.
Yes.
And you saw this on the computer, and there's timestamp on
Ted never walked out of that bedroom again.
Danny's version of the time of death exonerates him. Phone records would put him miles from the murder.
I did not leave Manhattan, which is 140 miles away from the crime scene, till midnight. I was on the Triborough Bridge in Manhattan at 12:08 in Ted Ammon's car at the Easy Pass toll. I have cell phone records that prove it. Ted Ammon was dead for 10 minutes when I got to the Triborough Bridge.
But Ted's exact time of death is disputed. Forensics narrowed it down to a 6-hour window, meaning Danny can be ruled either in or out, depending on the exact time of death.
Prosecutor's contention is that you killed Ted Ammon.
That I snuck into Ted Ammon's bedroom in the middle of the night while he was sleeping, hit him with a crowbar, then hit him with a lamp. What else were they saying?
So it sure would be convenient to have that black recording box, wouldn't it?
Convicted killer Danny Pelosi says a black box recording at the Ammons mansion captured Ted's real killers.
That information on that black box could set you free.
That information lets me walk.
Where's the black box?
It was thrown into a creek
By?
by me. At that time, it was to protect her from assault charges and protect the idiots that went out there.
Okay. However, you're the one in prison. She's gone. And no one else is in prison for this crime but you.
Within 3 months of the murder, Danny and Generosa are married. 2 years later, Generosa dies of breast cancer. Then, in 2004, police believe they have enough evidence to pin the murder on Danny, and Danny alone.
Were you in any way, directly or indirectly, involved in Ted's death?
I had absolutely nothing to do with the murder or killing of Ted Ammon.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Danny says although he got rid of evidence, he was not there when it happened. But here's the thing for me. Why tell this story now? Why not 9 years ago when he was on trial? Generosa had passed away. He could have pinned it on her to save himself, but he kept his mouth shut.
Why are you the one in prison for this crime?
That's the million-dollar question. Why is it taking 9 years for my appeal to be heard? Why am I sitting here now telling you we're only pieces when this whole story has to come out? There's so much we don't have time for to bring out the true face of evil.
Generosa.
Yes.
Are Danny's new revelations really the secret he's kept for a decade? Or is he just shifting the blame onto a dead woman who cannot defend herself? I simply don't know. I do believe Danny was caught up in what he thought was an opportunity of a lifetime and got in way too deep.
I was fogged. I was clouded by the money and the lifestyle. It clouded my judgment. It made me actually forget who I was. Yeah, I just looked at the bigger picture. That I can live good, and she's good to me. She treated me like a king.
I want you to imagine that I'm Generosa. What would you like to say to me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I believed you. I'm sorry I went the distance for you. hate you. I wish I never met you. But I'll still pray for you every night and ask God to forgive you for what you did and for having me put in here.
Just imagine, I am Ted Ammon. What would you like to say to me?
Tell him, Ted. Tell him.
Thank you for sitting down with me.
Danny Pelosi is preparing a new appeal. No date has been set.